Alright, so those of you who follow me on Instagram know that I post about this very frequently, about doing what you can do. And the fact that optimal really doesn't exist. In an optimal world, right, you've never suffered a single injury, and you don't have any wear and tear on your joints, and certainly you don't have any arthritis. Who would have arthritis, especially as you're in your 30s and 40s? So this video is going to be talking about, what do you think? How to stay active and how to keep going, how to train around things as you age. And what I want to highlight here is actually for the tactical community. So no, I'm not talking to you powerlifters, because you don't have a choice. If you want to compete in powerlifting, you have to squat, you have to bench, you have to deadlift. That's part of the sport. That's just what it is. If you want to compete in weightlifting, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to do snatches and clean and jerk. If you want to compete in strongman, you're going to have to pick up Atlas stones. You're going to have to do log presses. You'll have to do, a variety of movements. They do so many different things, from yoke carries to farmer walks, you name it. Strongman is a sport. Okay? So when it comes to training, though, let's say you are even a field sport athlete, but we're going to talk about tactical athletes here. I hate that word. I really do hate that word. But it's the term that people search for it. So I almost feel like I have to use it because of the fact that otherwise, if people are looking for it, they won't find me, and they won't find this. So we're going to call them tactical athletes because of the fact that it helps out the search, helps you find this. I don't consider them athletes though, because there's no fucking off season. Oh yeah, now YouTube's gonna demote my video. We don't fucking care here, do we? No, we don't. So, you're a tactical athlete, whatever you are, whether it's law enforcement or military, it doesn't matter. The point for you is to be capable. Your sport, right, has nothing to do with lifting a barbell. That's not the game for you. You're not training for powerlifting. You're not training for weightlifting, and you're also not training for strongman. Okay. So, if you are still trying to train and you can't train optimally because you can't follow the latest, power building split. Okay? I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. My solution to you, my recommendation to you, is to basically take the major movements and then just work around them however you have to. So let's just start off with the squat. Okay, you can't put a barbell on your back because you have some vertebral injury at some point, like maybe you fractured your T2 or T3 vertebrae like this guy, or maybe you blew your shoulder out at some point and you can't get your arms back to hold the bar there. Okay, you can front squat. Yes, this means you're going to have to use less load, but you know what? It's better than not squatting at all. Okay? So you can front squat. Oh, you don't like front squats? That's okay. You can do a safety bar squat. Okay? The safety squat bar is fantastic. It's got that big giant padding on it, and the handles fit right over your shoulder. So now you don't have to get your shoulder back. So you can do the safety bar. Oh, that doesn't work for you either. Have you ever tried doing front squats with a safety bar? Yeah, you can do that too. And you just basically bear hug it. Okay, just moving right along. Zercher squats. I'm going to recommend something to you here though on Zercher squats. Use an easy curl bar. Yeah, I know. Oh, what are you talking about, Chad? Yeah, trust me on this one. Use the easy curl bar. One of the biggest problems people have using a straight bar is that it rolls and it takes all your skin off. It's a pain in the ass. Like you could be like, don't be soft, and but the reality is, like, there's no reason to tear your arms up if you don't have to. It's like Dan John. It's like this one coach said to me, who shall remain unnamed: serious athletes don't fuck their hands up to the point they can't train the next day. So serious athletes don't fuck their arms up to the point they can't train the next day either. Use the easy curl bar and don't tear your arms up. Moving forward with that, you can use belt squats if you have machines. You can do, oh, by the way, hey, you tell me you have hip problems. Hey, I have hip problems too. Everyone I talk to tells me they have hip problems. I tell them exactly how to fix it, and everyone comes back to me and tells me that they can't fix it. And I ask them, did you do what I tell them to? And then they tell me they didn't do it. So if you have hip injuries, like a torn labrum, I know that I'm about to speak some blasphemy here, because a lot of you purists are going to hate this, but box squats, yes, box squats, box squats. You mean like Louis Simmons? Yes, I do mean like Louis Simmons. Box squats. Box squats are a great way for you to work around that, because that impingement only occurs whenever you push your hip to the point that the femur crashes into your acetabulum, okay? So what you can do here, I know this is crazy, you can actually figure out the depth, this is radical, the depth at which you are able to squat pain-free. And so what you do is you just set the box at that height. From you, maybe it might be 24 inches, it might be 20 inches. Hell, maybe you can get down to 18 or 16 inches. But the point being, you're going to do box squats, and you're going to set the box at a height where it doesn't hurt. Radical concept, I know. Same thing for like your knees. If you find that, oh my gosh, my knee when it goes past a certain depth causes pain, then use the box. You want to know something great about the box squats? Let me tell you something fantastic about box squats. Let's just say 20 inches. Use a 20-inch box. It's always going to be a 20-inch box. So like, you know you didn't squat that one high. Like, oh man, I can squat 405. Yeah, but it's high as a kite. That's not the same as whenever I squat, say 315, and it goes all the way down to my butt touches the back of my shoes, right? Like, we've all seen this. People short their squats. The heavier it gets and they start straining, they start shortening the range of motion. Dude, you have a box? You know whether or not you touch the box. So now every rep is to the same depth. Oh, you don't compete in powerlifting, so no one's going to call you for depth. You don't compete in weightlifting, so you don't need to get that ass to grass squat either. We're just trying to build up some strong legs. Box squats. Radical concept. Okay? Oh, that doesn't work for you either. Well, then we have some other variants that you can go with. And this is not optimal now. Okay, I always point out to people, a bilateral squat is going to be the best way for you to build maximal strength. But we're not in a game of best way. It's good, better, best, right? So you know what? If you can't do that, you can do unilateral work. I recommend that you do a rear foot elevated split squat. But as I have been pointing out to people a million times, the Bulgarian split squat, rear elevated, right? Rear foot is elevated. This does not mean it has to be way up high. Stop using a bench for this. Too many people develop SI joint problems because they put their back foot up too goddamn high. Here's an easy solution. Start off with a 45-pound bumper plate, put that on the floor and put your rear foot on that. That's barely elevated, and yet it's still elevated. You're not torquing on your SI joint. I know, Mike Boyle does it. Yes, Mike Boyle does it with a bunch of college kids. College hockey players, they're young. You're 35, you're 40. You can't do that shit anymore. Stop pulling on your SI joint. Be smart about this. You're either in the game to get stronger, or you're in the game to, I don't know, fucking ego lift and blow your back out. Everyone's really impressed when you're laying on the floor of the gym. So, we're going to do a rear foot elevated split squat, but we're not going to elevate our foot ridiculously high. We're going to put our foot up just a little bit. Now, you can go ahead and load that. I don't care how you load it. You can hold it like a front squat. You can use a safety bar. You can put the barbell on your back. You can hold dumbbells. Shit, you can do it with a trap bar. Doesn't matter. And that's the point. Outside of that, you've got a whole bunch of other unilateral movements. You could do lunges. I'm not a fan of lunges. If knees hurt when you do lunges, stop doing lunges. I don't believe that lunges are a good movement for strength. I believe that lunges are a good movement for conditioning. I think everyone should do lunges and walking lunges for conditioning. I don't think anyone should be doing lunges for strength if you're capable of doing squats or split squats, okay? This is really important here, guys. This is always contextual. If you tell me that you can't do a bilateral squat and you also can't do a rear foot elevated split squat, well then okay, I guess the lunges are the last choice for you, right? This is the point. It's good, better, best. You have to pick the movements that don't cause pain. Now, I've gone on for entirely too long about squatting movements, okay? But I did this so you get the concept that there is a ton of variation that you can do here. Now, moving on, we're going to go on to the bench. All right. You don't have to bench press. You can incline press. That doesn't hurt your shoulders, then incline press. You can overhead press. Overhead press doesn't hurt your shoulders, then overhead press. Just pick a pressing movement. Oh, straight bar is hard. That's okay. They make this thing called a Swiss bar or a football bar. You can try that instead. Still doesn't work for you? Give dumbbells a go. I can't remember who it was that said it. I think I said it in another video, and I probably named the person. Might have been Dusty Hanshaw. Somebody made a point. Might have even been Chris Tuttle. I've never seen someone get injured doing dumbbell bench press. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? Guys drop barbells on their faces and on their necks, but boy, you don't even see pec tears with dumbbell bench presses. That's a weird one. Huh, maybe a dumbbell bench press isn't such a bad movement for you to include, okay? And if that doesn't work for you, maybe dips work, okay? Everyone's built differently. Some people find that they have more shoulder pain with dips and they're fine bench pressing. Some people can't bench press and they can do dips. Dips are a fantastic movement. Weighted dips. Hey, I can bang out a set of 50 dips, okay? I tell you what, that lights my triceps up. So if you think that dips aren't worth doing, I don't know. I feel like maybe you haven't tried them. Dips are a fantastic movement. Load them up and go heavy. Start using weighted dips, and now you're getting even more of an effect out of it. I'll tell you this much. Doing dips increased my bench press, but doing bench press didn't increase my weighted dip. How's that one for you? That's kind of like overhead press. I point out to people all the time. Doing overhead presses increased my bench press. Bench press did not increase my overhead press. Getting too far along on this, but the point being, once again, we are just going to look for a movement. You can do a Viking press. Pick a pressing movement. You don't have to do competition style lifts. And on to the deadlift. I don't care. You're not competing in powerlifting. You're not competing in strongman. So conventional, that's fine. Sumo, that's fine too. You want to use a trap bar? Go for a fucking trap bar. There's nothing wrong with it. Hell, you can use a belt squat machine and do deadlifts even on that. I've seen it many times. You can have a whole bunch of variety. Hell, maybe you got more money than you know what to do with. Buy one of those K-Box eccentric things. Yeah, that flywheel, that'll work. That's fine. If you can do that without pain, that's a great solution for you. No, you have pain? Then don't do it. You can do rack pulls. You can do rack pulls. Hey, I figured out that if I pull from the floor, my back gets super flared up. But if I pull from just 6-inch blocks, I'm fine. Well, then pull from 6-inch blocks. Like, this isn't the get injured party. We ain't here to blow our backs out and hobble around for the next 6 months. Do something that doesn't fucking hurt. Oh, the trap bar is too low. Did you try the high handles? Yeah. You have a ton of options. You have so many options, it's not even funny. You can go on all day. Oh, this doesn't work for you? Then don't do it. You know what I recommend you don't do? Don't do the powerlifting style switch grip with your deadlifts. Don't do the one hand forward and one hand supinated thing. Don't do that. Just do double overhand. Oh, you can't hold on to it? Then build more grip strength. But in the meantime, go ahead and use some goddamn straps. I don't understand people who insist on doing competition style lifts whenever you're not going to compete in powerlifting. Now, if you're going to compete in powerlifting, you're pulling a 1-rep max deadlift, then by all means do that switch grip. But you're doing sets of 10 and you're just trying to build up your hamstrings and your glutes and your low back, you're just trying to build your posterior chain, use a fucking trap bar. Use a straight bar and do a conventional double overhand. What difference does it make to you? If you're not pulling a 1-rep max, then keep it double overhand. You don't have to copy powerlifters. This doesn't even make any sense. You know, you're not competing in basketball, so why would you train like LeBron James? You're not competing in football, so why would you train like Tom Brady? You're not competing in powerlifting, but you're going to copy a powerlifting program. That's smart. I'm not competing in weightlifting, but I'm going to follow a weightlifting program. And there's nothing wrong with that either, including some weightlifting, power cleans. Hey, you can't power clean a barbell? Have you tried a sandbag? Okay. You can do dumbbell snatches. I've seen people do dumbbell snatches. Nothing wrong with that, okay? The magic of this whole thing is that you have all these options. Oh, and by the way, back to squats and leg training. If you can't do any of it, push a sled. There you go. That'll build your legs up real fast. Push and pull a sled. Drag it backwards, push it forwards. Drag it backwards, push it forwards. Oh man, it'll blow your legs up. My calves hurt when I'm done. You guys have so many options. And of course, pull-ups. You're going to need to do pull-ups. You don't have a way around it. But there's a million different variations of pull-ups you can do. You could use rings. You could use a straight bar. You could use the bar that has the little slants on the sides. You could use neutral grip. They make a million different things now. You could even get yourself one of those rock climbing boards that has little finger holes in them. And it's got different angles on those. So like maybe it's just the angle of the pull-up bar that hurts your wrist. Well, guess what? You don't have to do it on a straight bar. So you have a million options, okay? The point is here that I'm trying to share with you is to think outside the box. Move your body through the range of motion it needs to move through, but be flexible about the movement. No one said you have to do a competition-style low-bar back squat. And as far as your bench press, you can do close grip, you can do wide grip, you can do whatever type of way you want. Hell, you could do a reverse grip bench press. Like, there's no rule to this. You don't have to follow a standard powerlifting rule, okay? What do you need to be able to do? You need to be able to run. You're not going to find your way around that. You're going to be able to find a way to pick up things and carry them. Can't find a way around that either. You're going to have to bear load, okay? Whether it's you wearing full kit or it's you carrying something, I tell you what, you want a gut check for yourself? Pick up another human being and see how far you can carry them. If you can't pick up another person and carry them, you are a liability. You're not an asset to your team. Oh, and for those of you who are, prepping and taking care of your family, you think that you're going to be a tactical operator. You bought night vision goggles to protect your family. Can you pick up your wife and carry her for 2 miles? No? Well, then you might want to work on that. These are things that matter. No one sits there and concerns themselves about whether or not this Navy SEAL or Special Forces or MARSOC guy can bench press 500 pounds. Oh man, he would be a better operator if he could if only he could deadlift 600. Now fuck that shit. No one gives a shit. You know what people do care about? Can you carry your weight? Are you holding the team back? Are you slow? Are you the one who's slowing us down? If I take a fucking round, can you pick me up and carry me out? I can pick you up and carry you out. You can't pick me up and carry me out? We've got a little bit of a disconnect here. We've got a little bit of an imbalance. Okay? These are the things that are going to matter. How you build the leg strength, no one fucking cares. No one cares if you did competition style low bar back squats or if you did safety bar squats. If your legs are strong, you have strong legs. No one cares if you built your ability to pick things up doing deadlifts with a straight bar and a conventional stance instead of sumo, because sumo's cheating, and maybe you used a trap bar and just got crazy fucking strong with a trap bar. Can you pick up another person and carry them? That's the part that matters. The part that doesn't matter is how you built it. Oh, you do nothing but Atlas stones. Well, hey, guess what? If you did nothing but Atlas stones and you could pick up a 455-pound Atlas stone, you won't have a problem picking up a 225-pound man. You won't. And you know what? No one cares, though. No one cares what your best Atlas stone load was. They're going to care whether or not you can pick them up. Okay? There. You guys have it. There's a whole bunch more options. I could go into machines and all kinds of shit, but this video would be like 3 hours long. The point being that I hope you get the general concept. The general concept is you can train around things. If you're intelligent, you train around things. Buy Mike's power pin. Do that. Oh, you can't do deadlifts? Use the fucking power pin and do really fucking heavy swings. Don't do kettlebell swings for sets of 20. Put something heavy on that goddamn thing that you can only swing for like 3 or 5, like something like that. That'll build you up. Okay? There, I just gave you another option. You can use strongman tools. Maybe you actually find log presses are easier for you. That's fine. Do it. Yoke carries. Do it. It'll build your legs up. That's the point that I'm trying to drive home here. You got to train around things. Find the things that don't hurt and then just get strong on those things. It'll just make you stronger in general. And that's the whole point of this game. We're not trying to compete in powerlifting or strongman or weightlifting. We're just trying to get stronger in general so we can apply that general strength to the things that we have to do in life.